Hi everyone, I'm Molly from Susan's family. Today, I'll teach you the crochet method for the Prince blanket from Little Prince Comfort Blanket. For this electronic tutorial, search for susodiy.com on the website to view it. This product consists of a toy and a blanket. First, we make the toy. After completing it, we move on to crocheting the blanket. Let's start by learning the crochet method for the toy. The toy is made up of 4 parts: the main body, the clothes, the hair, and accessories. All parts of the toy are presented in the chart. Next, I'll teach you how to understand the chart. In the chart, R plus number indicates the round number. H plus number indicates the row number. The stitch instructions column describes the stitches and increases or decreases. When working the current round, the total stitches column shows the total number of stitches after completing that round. While crocheting, you need to start each round with a beginning chain and end each round with a slip stitch join. All single crochets are X stitch single crochets. This video only explains the crocheting method. For specific stitch counts, the yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes are not referenced. First, let's explain the crocheting method for the main part. The main part includes arms, legs, torso, head, ears, the collar, top edges and pant legs. Start with crocheting the arms. Use the magic ring technique. Work around the magic ring. When you reach the 4th round, pick up the front loops and switch colors for crocheting. The stitches used include X single crochet, VSC 2-in-1, and ASC 2 tog. Please watch my demonstration. First, start with an adjustable magic ring. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Hold the hook with your right hand. Position the hook below the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Form a loop on the hook. Pinch the crossing point of the loop with your left thumb and middle finger. Pinch where the yarn crosses. Make the loop slightly bigger, then position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Keep pinching the loop. Maintain the size of the loop. This way, the adjustable magic ring is completed. Next, start working on the first round. In the chart, R1 indicates 8x. It means you need to work 8 single crochets. Before you start, first, make 1 chain as the beginning chain for the single crochet. The beginning chain for the single crochet does not count as a stitch, therefore, it is not included in the chart. Now, start crocheting the single crochets. You need to work 8 single crochets in this round. Start by inserting your hook into the magic ring. Work 1 single crochet. Continue crocheting. Once you've completed the 8 single crochets, check the stitch count. Next, close the magic ring. Pull the starting yarn tail tight to tighten it. Tighten up the center of the piece. Then thread it back onto your hook. Insert your hook into the first single crochet. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Pull through all the loops on your hook. Slip stitch is now complete. The slip stitch here does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten it slightly. That's it. The magic ring and the first round are now completed. Now move on to crochet the second round. Pay attention. While crocheting, make sure to hold down the yarn tail with your stitches. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then work 1 single crochet. Insert your hook into the stitch. Place the yarn tail between your hook and the working yarn. Crochet 1 single crochet. Continue by working one single crochet into the adjacent stitch on the left. Again, make sure to hold down the yarn tail while crocheting. After a few stitches with the yarn tail held down, you can tighten it and then cut off the excess. Continue crocheting until all the remaining stitches are completed. Once everything is finished, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. Pull tight. That's it, the second round is now complete. For the third round, continue crocheting single crochets evenly. Here's what you need to pay attention to. Since the fourth round requires a color change, for the last stitch of this round, work an unclosed single crochet. Insert the hook and draw the yarn through. At this point, there will be 2 loops on your hook. That's one unclosed single crochet. Next, take the new yarn for the color change. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Place the yarn behind the piece. Pinch the yarn. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Then join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. This completes the third round. The color change is also complete. Now move on to the fourth round. In the chart, flow means working in the front loop only. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Insert the hook into the strand closest to you. Work a SC2 in 1, that is, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Place the 2 yarn tails from the color change between the hook and the working yarn. Work a SC2 in 1. 1, 2. That completes one SC2 in 1. Next, insert the hook into the front loop of the adjacent stitch on the left. Hold down the yarn tail. Continue to work a SC2 in 1. After a few stitches, the yarn tail will be secured. You can tighten and cut the yarn. Follow this pattern to complete the round. After everything is finished, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Tighten it up. That completes the fourth round. For the 5th to 8th rounds, the stitch techniques are simple. Just crochet evenly. You can finish these on your own. As you can see, the sample has also reached the 8th round here. Next, I'll show you how to count the rounds using this sample. On the right side of the piece, there are these circular textures. The number of these textures indicates how many rounds you've crocheted. You can see there are 8 textures now. This means 8 rounds have been completed. That's how you count the rounds. In the 9th round, we will encounter parentheses and SC2 tog. The parentheses here indicate that the stitches inside are a group. The number outside the parentheses indicates how many times to repeat the group of stitches. Here it means to repeat the stitches inside the parentheses twice. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then work 3 single crochets. Followed by 1 SC2 tog. Insert the hook into the front loop of the adjacent stitch. Which is the strand closest to you? And then insert it into the front loop of the left stitch. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over the hook. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Now there are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through once. That completes 1 SC2 tog. This method of decreasing is called an invisible decrease. By using this technique to decrease, the gaps between stitches are smaller. It makes the piece look more delicate. Then do 3 single crochets. This completes the group of stitches in the parentheses. Continue and finish the remaining group. That's how you complete the 9th round. For any following rounds, parentheses will have the same meaning. All stitch techniques have been demonstrated before. Be mindful not to randomly adjust the position of increases while crocheting. Follow the chart for the stitch sequence. Everyone, follow the chart to complete the remaining rounds for the arm. While crocheting, remember to add stuffing as you go. Leave about 15 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing. Everyone, take a look. This is what it looks like when it's finished. There are 2 arms in total. That concludes the crocheting method for the arms. For the legs, we also start with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds. You will need to change colors during the process. The new stitch technique used here is the CH chain. Here, I will mainly demonstrate the crocheting method for the 8th round. The 1st to 7th rounds have been demonstrated before. The stitch techniques for those rounds were explained before. Please complete the first 7 rounds first. Then move on to the 8th round. For this round, you also need to change colors, and crochet through the front loop only. Press down the yarn tail, and complete the 2 groups of stitches in the parentheses first. Then comes 5 chains. Yarn over the hook, pull the yarn through the loop on your hook. That's 1 chain. Continue crocheting. After completing 5 chains, go back to the second to last stitch. Pick up 1 strand from the top of the chain and work a single crochet. After completing 4 single crochets, return to the previous piece. Here, you still need to pick up the front loop, and work the stitches in the parentheses. Once done, move to this side. Again, make 5 chains. Then go back and work a single crochet in the second to last stitch. After completing, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. That completes the 8th round. Next, continue with the 9th round. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Here, pick up the remaining loop of the chain and work a single crochet. Once the single crochets on this side are completed, rotate the piece, move to the other side. Start from here, pick up the single crochet and work a single crochet. Continue to this side and work single crochets. Rotate the piece. Continue crocheting. Once all single crochets are completed, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, pull tight. At this point, flip the piece over to see both sides. For the next rounds from 10 to 16, the stitch technique is simple. Follow the method demonstrated earlier. To complete the remaining rounds for the legs, pay attention, you need to stuff as you crochet. You also need to make 2 legs. After finishing the second leg, don't cut the yarn. Leave it to continue crocheting the body. That's all for the leg crochet method up to this point. Now let's move on to crocheting the body. While crocheting, add a small amount of stuffing. Don't overstuff. Just make sure the body is flat and firm. Remember to switch colors during the process. Do not randomly adjust the decrease positions. Follow the pattern in the chart while crocheting. The new stitch technique used is skip stitches. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Crochet the corresponding number of single crochets according to the chart. After completing, pick up the other leg that you just crocheted. Locate the 19th single crochet in the last round. Insert the hook into it. Crochet according to the chart, 1 stitch to another. Complete the corresponding number of single crochets. Note, the first single crochet connecting the pieces should be tighter. When reaching the end, for the yarn tail, make sure to press it down while crocheting. After finishing, go back to this leg. Continue crocheting the remaining stitches. Finish with 1 slip stitch to join. This completes round 17. The connection of the leg is now done. Move on to continue crocheting. After completing round 18, switch colors for crocheting. Once the color change is done, continue with round 19. Make sure to press down the yarn tail from the color change while crocheting. After finishing round 19, move on to crochet round 20. In the chart, BLO is indicated here. It means crocheting by picking up the back loop only. Start with one chain as the beginning chain, then pick the back loop of the stitch farthest from you and insert the hook. Crochet a single crochet. For this entire round, work single crochets in the back loops only, working evenly. Everyone, complete the remaining single crochets. For rounds 21 through 25, follow the pattern in the chart to crochet. After completing the previous rounds, move on to round 26. This round is for attaching the arm. First, crochet the corresponding number of single crochets as indicated in the chart. Once done, take one of the arms that you previously crocheted. Insert the hook into the first single crochet of the arm. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Crochet 2 single crochets. There's no need to press down the yarn tail of the arm here. Leave it for sewing later. Then crochet 2 SC2 tog. Followed by 2 more single crochets. At this point, there are 2 stitches remaining on the arm. The K in parentheses means skipping stitches. The number after K indicates how many stitches to skip. Here, the first K2 means skipping the remaining 2 stitches on the arm. The first K2 refers to skipping these 2 stitches on the arm. This means you will skip the remaining 2 stitches of the arm. The second K2 refers to skipping 2 stitches on the body. Move to the third stitch of the body, pick up the stitch, and continue crocheting single crochets. After completing the single crochets, connect to the other arm. Similarly, crochet the corresponding number of stitches on the other arm. Two single crochets. 2 SC2 tog. Followed by 2 more single crochets. Finally, skip 2 stitches and leave them unworked. On the body, also skip 2 stitches. Directly join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Tighten the yarn. This completes the 26th round. The connection of the arm is also finished. For rounds 27 to 30, the crochet method is relatively simple, just follow the chart to complete it. Since the head section that comes next requires a color change, when you reach the last stitch of the 30th round, work an unclosed single crochet. Change to the corresponding color for the head. Finally, make a slip stitch to join. Pull tight. That concludes the crocheting method for the upper body. The color change for the head is also completed. At this point, enlarge the yarn loop. Take out the darning needle. Sew together the underarm areas on both sides. Everyone, do it like this, one stitch to another with a whip stitch. After completing the sewing, tie a knot and secure it. Pull tight. Weave the yarn tail inside the body. Cut the yarn. Sew up the other side in the same way. Next, thread the hook back through the loop. Then continue crocheting the head. While crocheting, add stuffing gradually. Do not randomly adjust the increase or decrease stitch positions. Follow the pattern on the chart strictly. The new stitch technique used here is T-half double crochet, TVHDC 2 in 1. Start with a chain 1. In the first round, work SC 2 in 1 into the back loops only. The techniques used have all been demonstrated before. You can complete it on your own. Pay attention to holding down the starting yarn tail while crocheting. Then move on to the second round. In this round, repeat the stitch pattern inside the parentheses twice. Repeat the stitches in the brackets 2 times. First, crochet the corresponding number of single crochets as shown in the chart. After completing the single crochet, work 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, draw the yarn through, yarn over again, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. 1/2 double crochet is now completed. Next, work 2 TV. This means working 2 consecutive HDC 2 in 1. Yarn over, insert your hook into the adjacent single crochet on the left side. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, pull through all the loops on your hook in one motion. 1/2 double crochet is now completed. HDC 2 in 1. This means working 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. Continue by wrapping the yarn around your hook. Work into the same stitch, where the half double crochet was made. Then work one more half double crochet. That completes one HDC 2 in 1. Next, continue with the second HDC 2 in 1. 1, 2. After completing it, work 1 half double crochet into the stitch on the left. This finishes the group of stitches in the parentheses. Now continue with the second group of stitches. Start by working a single crochet. Then work a half double crochet. HDC 2 in 1. Finally, work 1 half double crochet. That completes the second group of stitches. Then join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Pull tight. The second round is now completed. For the third round, the pattern is the same as the second round, just some of the stitch counts are different. You can continue crocheting according to the chart. All the stitch techniques for the following rounds have been demonstrated before. The stitch pattern for the head section isn't as regular. While crocheting, make sure to follow the chart carefully. The increase and decrease stitches in the chart are almost all on both sides of the toy's face. If you find that the position is incorrect while crocheting, double check your stitch count and round number to ensure no mistakes. When crocheting, stuff as you go. Don't overstuff. Just make it evenly firm and full. I won't repeat the demonstration here. Next, we will crochet the ears. The ears start with an adjustable magic ring. The stitch techniques used here include F double crochet. Please watch as I demonstrate. Since the ear only has one round, it is crocheted directly on the magic ring. Therefore, a double magic ring is needed here. Hold the yarn with your right hand, and place the yarn tail in the palm of your left hand. Pinch it firmly, then wrap it twice around your left index and middle fingers. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Take off the loop, then hold the yarn with your left hand. Move the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Hold the hook with your right hand. Insert the hook into the loop. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. That's how you complete the double magic ring. Now move on to the first round. Start with 1 chain as the beginning chain for single crochet. Insert the hook into the magic ring, and make 1 single crochet. After completing, you'll have 2 half double crochets. Once the half double crochets are done, there will be 2 double crochets. Yarn over. Insert it through the magic ring. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops. Now there will be 2 loops left on the hook. Continue to yarn over, draw through the 2 loops on hook. 1 double crochet is now complete. Continue with another double crochet. After finishing, you'll have 2 half double crochets. Finally, make 1 single crochet. Then make 1 chain to secure. Stretch the loop, leave a tail of about 15 centimeters, and cut. Gently tighten. Turn the piece over. Give a gentle tug on the starting tail. You'll notice there's a moving loop. Enlarge the moving loop. At this point, the other loop tightens. Now there is one loop left. Tighten the starting tail again. This way, the starting loop is tightened. Finally, you can cut it directly to trim the starting tail. Adjust the shape of the ear slightly. One ear is now completed. Follow this method to finish the second ear as well. Let's take a look at the finished product. After completing the ears, sew them on both sides of the cheeks. Count 7 rounds upwards from the color change position on the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here, when sewing, the ear should be placed at the position of 3 rounds counted upwards from here. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method, just use the yarn needle to securely sew on the ears. Pay attention, make sure both ears are sewn symmetrically. That concludes the making method for the ears. Next, we will go over the collar section. The collar is crocheted by joining the yarn in the front loop of the 30th round on the upper body. The new stitches used include the FVDC 2-in-1 and the FTR 2-in-1. Please watch as I demonstrate. Here, I'll continue demonstrating with the same sample I used earlier. While crocheting, consider the position of this slip stitch line as the wrong side of the toy. Locate the middle position on the right side, with the toy's legs facing upward. Take the corresponding color yarn for the collar. Insert the hook into the front loop. Draw the yarn through. Start with 2 chains. These 2 chains count as 1/2 double crochet. The square brackets in the chart indicate stitches worked in the same stitch. That is, in the space where you just made the chain. Work 1 more 1/2 double crochet. While crocheting, remember to press down on the starting yarn tail. Next, work 1 DC 2-in-1. That means working 2 double crochets in the same stitch. One, 2. That's how you complete 1 DC 2-in-1. After that comes a TR 2-in-1. That means working 2 treble crochets in the same stitch. Let's start with the first one. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook into the adjacent half stitch on the left side. Draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pass through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pass through the next 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through the remaining 2 loops on the hook once. That's how you complete 1 treble crochet. Continue crocheting. Yarn over twice. Insert into the same position as the previous treble crochet. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 3 times. That's how you complete one TR2 in 1. Continue working according to the chart for the corresponding number of TR2 in 1. The yarn tail has been secured with a few stitches. You can tighten it and cut off the excess now. Continue crocheting. Once all the TR2 in 1 are completed, work 1 DC2 in 1. There is one last front loop remaining here. Work 1/2 double crochet in this front loop. Chain 2. Slip stitch into the same position as the 1/2 double crochet. Crochet 1 chain to secure. Pull up the loop. Gently tighten it. Use a darning needle to weave the yarn tail inside the body. Cut the yarn. This completes the collar section. Now move on to the top edge. The top edge is crocheted by joining yarn in the front loops of round 19 of the upper body. When crocheting, join the yarn at the back of the toy. In the first round, add 1 stitch on each side of the body. The stitch patterns and rules for the following rounds have been demonstrated before. No new stitches are used in this part. Just follow the chart to crochet. I won't demonstrate it step by step here. Next, crochet the pant edges. We will start from foundation chain. Crochet by connecting the beginning and ending. Please watch me demonstrate. First, crochet the corresponding number of chains, as shown in the chart. After completing them, join with a slip stitch into the first chain. Pay attention here before joining. Make sure the chains are not twisted. Insert your hook into one of the half loops of the first chain. Work 1 slip stitch. Then make 1 chain. Next, follow along the starting chain. Pick up the top loop of the chains and work single crochets correspondingly. While crocheting, hold down the yarn tail of the starting chain with your fingers. After completing all the single crochets, join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. Pull tight. Finally, make 1 chain to secure. Leave a tail of about 15 centimeters and cut the yarn. Cut the starting tail as well. Thread it through a sewing needle. Place the waistband over the leg opening. Make sure the starting chain is facing downward. This side should be slightly higher. Then sew the edge of the leg to the waistband along the leg opening. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method, just make sure it's secure. After sewing, tie a double knot to fasten. Weave the yarn tail inside the body. Cut the yarn. The method for making both sides of the pants legs is the same. Everyone follow the method demonstrated earlier. Finish the other side as well. Up to this point, the entire main part has been fully explained. Next, I will demonstrate the crocheting method for the clothing. The clothing starts with a foundation chain. Then work back and forth along the foundation chain. First, crochet a foundation chain. After completing it, pick up the top loop of the second to last chain, and work a single crochet. Since we are working back and forth, there is no need to work a slip stitch for joining here. This completes the foundation chain and the first row. Now move on to the second row. Start with one chain as the turning chain. This is also the turning chain for the single crochet. This does not count as a stitch. Then, turn the work piece counterclockwise. Work 2 single crochets next. Follow with 1/2 double crochet. Then work 2 double crochets. Finally, make 1 DC2 in 1. This completes the second row. Now proceed to the third row. Start with one chain as the turning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Start with 1 SC2 in 1. Then work even in single crochets. This completes the third row. Now continue to the fourth row. Referring to the previous demonstration, follow the chart until you reach the double crochet position. After completing 2 double crochets, work 1 DC2 tog. Yarn over. draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, draw through the first 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops remaining on the hook. This is an unclosed double crochet. Yarn over again with your hook, insert into the last stitch on the left side, and draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Now there are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again with your hook, draw through all 3 loops on the hook in once. That completes 1 DC2 tog. For the next rows from row 5 to row 9, just follow the chart to complete them. The sample has been crocheted up to row 9 here. After finishing, slip stitch join at the corner position of row 4. Chain 1 to secure. Pull up the loop to enlarge it. Break the yarn. Then continue crocheting row 10. Here you need to join a new yarn and continue crocheting. Start with single crochets from the first stitch of row 9. Insert the hook into the single crochet. Join the yarn and start crocheting. As you work, press down on the joining yarn tail. Once pressed down, tighten and trim the yarn tail. There are a total of 6 single crochets here. You've already completed 3 stitches. The remaining 3 stitches will be worked in the front loop of the chains. For the following rows, continue working back and forth using the demonstrated method. Keep crocheting all the way to row 18. After completing row 18, similarly, stretch the loop and fasten off the yarn. Note here, cut the yarn first, but don't pull the loop yet. Set it aside for now. We'll use it later for the slip stitch join. Then continue at the first stitch of row 18, which is right here. Join the yarn and continue crocheting. While crocheting, press down on the yarn tail. Once pressed, tighten it, then cut off the excess. Next, follow the chart. Crochet back and forth to complete the remaining rows. Note that there is 1 skipped stitch in row 25. Be careful not to crochet it incorrectly. After completing the last DC2 tog, secure it with 1 chain. Cut the yarn. Insert the hook into the yarn loop reserved earlier. Join with a slip stitch at the corner of row 24. Right here. Pull tight. Finally, secure it with 1 chain. That completes the main part of the clothing. Next is the edging section. There are 4 sections to crochet for the edging. First, take out the yarn in the same color as the main piece. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Join the yarn at any position on the edge of the clothing. Crochet 1 round of single crochets along the outer edge of the clothing. Pay attention, whenever you reach a corner of the clothing, you need to increase stitches to form the corner. Keep it going. When you reach the location of the yarn tail, make sure to crochet over the tail to secure it. There's no specific requirement for the number of single crochets in the edging, just ensure that the edge of the clothing stays flat and even. At the shoulder position, pick up the half stitch from the chain and continue crocheting. Similarly, press the yarn tail down while crocheting single crochets. Continue with this method to complete the entire round. After completing all the edging, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Then use the same color yarn to crochet the cuff edging. Start joining the yarn under the arm and crochet single crochets. The cuff consists of 14 single crochets in total. After finishing, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Crochet 1 chain to secure, then cut the yarn. Finally, use a yarn needle to weave the end of the yarn inside the piece. Everyone can follow the same method to crochet the other side as well. After completing both cuffs, move on to crocheting the edging for the front band and hem of the clothing. Take out the corresponding color yarn. Start from the neckline of the clothing. Insert the hook into the back loops, and crochet 1 round of slip stitches, matching each stitch. The slip stitches here don't need to be pulled too tight. After finishing everything, crochet 1 chain to secure it. Simply fasten off the yarn. Use a yarn needle to weave all the yarn tails completely. The last step is crocheting the edging for the hem of the clothing. Start from this side. Insert the hook into the loop of the slip stitch. Pick up the thread below and crochet it together directly. Work one single crochet for each stitch, matching them one by one. This will help secure the yarn tail. When you reach the corner position of the clothing, work a SC2 in 1. After completing the last stitch, work one slip stitch, chain 1 to secure. Fasten off and tighten. Cut the starting yarn tail. Use a darning needle to weave the ending yarn tail inside the piece. Cut the yarn. Tidy up the corner position. And here's what the completed clothing looks like. Take out the main body that we crocheted earlier. Put the clothes on the toy. Take a piece of yarn in the same color as the main body. Sew along the front band to close it. Pay attention while sewing that you pick up the inner stitches, ensuring no seam is visible on the right side. Finally, pull the yarn tight. Weave the yarn tail inside the piece. Cut the yarn. Turn down the collar. Now let's take a look at the finished product. Take out the blue patch from the kit. Use the gold pin to sew it onto the neckline position. Finally, at the center back just below the collar, sew on the wooden button. The method for sewing is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate each step. Up to this point, the entire making method for the clothes has been explained.